Hi everyone, and welcome to the Sagittarius June 2022 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. So hi everyone and welcome. What does illuminating your own spiritual importance mean? Well, that means that today we're going to take a look at a challenge that Spirit is asking you to face and overcome this month to help you engage with your unique spirit. You know, that part of us that rises up to meet the challenge so that we can unlock and engage with some of our unique heroic abilities so that we are better able to understand our purpose, to see our path, and to eventually find those lovely feelings of emotional fulfillment, to the emotions of happiness and just feeling that sense of contentment and knowing who we are and what we're capable of. So as I'm sitting here shuffling, I'll let everyone know that I do have an additional service listed on my website that I just put up there. It's a $25 one-time Ask a Question reading. So if you're interested, you can check that out by clicking on the link in the description box below. Also, I do have an extended for this video, so at the end, if you'd like to dive deeper into the cards and the message, the link to the Vimeo video is also below. And a big thank you for everyone who has continued to support my channel and watch my videos. I sincerely hope you enjoy them, but I want you to know that it means so much to me that you continue to watch and, again, support, so thank you. All right, so Sagittarius. We have the energy of kind of rest and reflection for you coming into the month of June. That's what the Four of Swords represents. This is when we get that chance to sit and kind of on a mental level comb through those thoughts that sometimes can end up hiding our own personal truth from us. Meaning we get to go through all of those more negative thoughts like I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not lovable, I always fail when I try to do this. Those kind of stories that float around in our head based on things that we have gone through, things that people have told us. And we get a chance to sit and reflect, to be able to kind of comb through what are those stories and what is actually the truth of who we are. And it's a lovely energy to come in with, because this is where we're getting that kind of that energy as we're going through this point of rest and reflection to find our core truth, to be able to take advantage of what's going on in your external environment, which is actually pretty exciting. So we have the Ace of Pentacles in the world. This is really a fresh start for a very select few of you, because this can be an actual very specific message. This is actual travel or movement to a new location. That's the world can denote that, the kind of ending of one cycle and actually the movement towards someplace new. So for some of you, you're either maybe moving to a new location, moving house, traveling for an extensive period of time. But in that, there is the seed with the Ace of Pentacles of a fresh start. So this is, I think for some of you, you're being faced with this, which is bringing you into this place of reflection. And for some of you, it's the reverse. You're in this point of reflection so that you are able to, when this opportunity arises, really take it. Be prepared to kind of let go of all those wounded stories from the past to say, no, I'm going to go for it this time. Because what you're unlocking about yourself is the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands, I'm going to see what's going on underneath here. The Three of Wands speaks to your ships coming in, speaks to the effort you've put out towards something, and you are waiting now for the result of that effort. Now, below that, we have Death and the Queen of Pentacles. And what I'm seeing here, so the Queen of Pentacles is when we really put our time and energy into raising something, nurturing something. This would be like what you are going to be asked to do here with the Ace of Pentacles again. So because we're starting a fresh cycle. That's, again, what the world denotes is the ending of a cycle. So now it's time to move on. So what I'm seeing with the Queen of Pentacles and Death is that something that you have nurtured has come to an end. Meaning maybe this for some of you is that you've actually raised a family and the children now are kind of leaving the nest. And it's time now to see what's the next thing to come in for you. This could also be where maybe some of you built a business or you worked towards getting to a certain level in a career path, and now that's come to an end. Maybe you're retiring, maybe you're closing the business. But whatever it is, something that you have nurtured long term has come to an end. And now you're looking to the horizon to see what's in store for me now, what's coming up around the bend. And you're preparing yourself. So this is a month really of what I feel like is release and preparation for the new, with this opportunity in the world and your external environment. Very positive. And for some of you, when I look at Queen of Pentacles and Death, that can be somewhat harsh. Even if it is, let's say, the children leaving the nest or, you retiring, something along those lines. When the Death card comes up, there is an element of finality. There's an element of, wanting to mourn what has passed, even if it feels kind of like a release, like, wow, I'm finally free from working 40 hours a week, or I'm finally free from having to, devote time and energy towards raising my children. Now I get to put that back towards myself. There's always going to be this feeling of kind of mourning what was. So mourning, you'll think about your children, when they were small, and you'll kind of mourn the loss of that closeness. Or you'll mourn the loss of when you first started your job 25 years ago and you were so excited, and now it's time to say goodbye. And you realize how much time has passed. But the beauty of this is that there is something new to start again. This isn't like this is the end. It's almost like there is this release, but now you're getting prepared for the next cycle. It's like instantly, this is ending, something else is coming in for you guys. So it's very positive, very opportune here for you. Okay, so now we're going to pull some cards to see what's going on in this challenge. What are you really being asked to face this month to kind of, I think, engage the Three of Wands energy, engage with looking forward to the next thing, and to really understand too that as you're waiting, to know kind of what you're looking for, because that can sometimes be the danger with the Three of Wands, is that we're sitting there waiting for something to come in, but we're not quite sure what we want that to be. And it makes it a lot easier to see an opportunity when we know what ship we're hoping to come in. It's not just waiting for anything, it's waiting for something specific. All right, let's see, what do we have? Ooh. Okay. Wow, this is a fun reading, Sagittarius. So let's see what else is going on here. We have the Hanged Man in your preliminary challenge position, your main challenge position. But the Ace of Wands at the heart of your reading, that is coupled with the Ace of Pentacles. This is true inspiration. This could be an aha moment. This could be that reconnection to a passion. For some of you, this could even be getting pregnant. This could be that it's very interesting, or truly the creation of something new, of a creative project. Let's see here. I'll pull two final cards, and then we'll dive into the message. So the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man, in general as an energy, is one of pause. It's a forced pause by Spirit, because Spirit is hoping that you're going to be able to take a look at a current circumstance in your life, and instead of kind of just going forward, to take that moment to stop, and as you can see, this individual is turned upside down, to stop and see something from a different perspective, from a perspective that Spirit is hoping you will see, so that with this perspective change, it's going to allow something to unlock. It's going to allow you to move forward on your path a little easier. And with the Four of... sorry guys. We're having our windows washed outside, and wasn't expecting that to hit the window. Okay. So I'm sorry if you guys hear that outside for a minute, but it should pass shortly. But with the Four of Swords and the Hanged Man, these are two energies of pause and reflection. And so you're really being asked to sit with this energy, but not just to sit in repose and rest. This is what I would consider kind of active rest. Because when this is a challenge, this is when we don't want to see something. This is when we're hung upside down and we feel, instead of kind of awed by what we didn't see before, this is when we're sitting here hung upside down and we're just frustrated. And we're letting the blood rush to our heads and we're struggling to get up and we're not ready to see what Spirit is hoping that we will. And so at this point, in order to get through the challenge, this is really where Spirit's asking you to get clear on your truth, but that there's something in your environment right now that if you allow yourself to see from a different perspective, it's going to give you, I think, a greater clarity on that truth, on where you've been holding yourself back to this point, maybe clinging to something that needs to end, clinging to a phase in your life. This would almost be like getting to that point where you're going to retire, or you're going to change career paths, or you are, watching your children go off to college. And instead of getting excited for what is to come, this is where we are clinging to the past, and where maybe there are opportunities coming in, and we're not preparing ourselves for that. Instead, we're sitting there looking at, well, what am I going to be if I'm not a mother or a father? Where am I, who am I going to be once I leave this job and it's my last day of work? What am I, and it's a little bit of that kind of questioning of once the cycle ends, then who am I? And what I think a lot of you need to, what you're being pushed to see is, it's almost like there's so much more that you're not realizing is, it's like, instead of mourning the loss of something and kind of clinging to what has been, it's time to look forward to the future to see, oh my gosh, what else is around the corner? Again, there's that feeling of like wanting to get excited, but you feel like you're not excited. You feel like you're in this place of like, ugh, like, no, I don't I don't wanna. And I think with the Hierophant coming up after this is where you're really being asked to look at the structures you have created in your life based on this previous major cycle in your life. So for instance, the Hierophant speaks to the systems, the structures that we choose to adhere to, be it governmental, be it familial, be it religious, whatever it is. These are the structures that we have put in place to create routine, order, and again, what we choose to stay obedient to. And for some of you, those things are going to have to change. You're being asked to see the structures in your life from a new perspective, because it's going to liberate you to be able to really embrace what Spirit's asking you to embrace, which is the Ace of Wands. This is a fresh connection to your eternal flame. This is a fresh connection to passion for life. This is a new chance at a fresh start for a new cycle. And for these two to come up together, this is, for some of you, this could literally be that you have an aha moment this month where it's like, oh my gosh, now that I am free, now that my children are going off to college, well, shoot, I can pick back up painting, or I can pick back up writing, and I've always wanted to do that. Or suddenly, I was really devoted to that parent schedule of having to pick my kids up at 3:00 and having to, go to maybe their sports games and all that. And now that I have all this free time, well, oh my gosh, I can travel. I can, it's almost like, what can't I do? That's really what I'm feeling coming in here. But you're the one that really has to take a look at, again, your situation from a new perspective. And for some of you, again, this might not be as positive as a situation, let's say, as you're retiring or your children are leaving the nest. This could be something dramatic, like you do have to close a business, or there legitimately has been a death, because this could actually represent, for a very few of you, the death of a feminine archetype figure. So could be a mother or a grandmother, somebody who has been very close to you. And that can be very difficult. And this is kind of that moment of sitting here and being able to see it from a new perspective of, maybe you have had to go and mourn the loss of something very dramatic, something that puts you into that place of wondering, why? Why did this person have to go? Why did this relationship have to end? Why? And Spirit's asking you to see it from a new perspective, because it's allowing you to see where perhaps you've been holding yourself back based on the rules you put up in place because of this traumatic event, or because of the ending of this in a way that maybe you don't want, that you've been kind of doing to protect yourself from having to go through it again. But with this energy, with the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, this is saying it's time. It's time to prepare yourself for what's to come. And that's going to have to be breaking some boundaries here. You're going to have to, I think, either realize this is a happy circumstance, that now you're free to do things in a new way and allow yourself to kind of open up. Or for those of you that this has been a very truly traumatic, emotionally traumatic thing around death, that for some of you, you're going to have to realize that you're going to have to kind of knock down some of those walls that perhaps you have put up to protect yourself from having to really go through that energy again. Now, with the Ace of Wands coming up with the Seven of Wands directly after, this is a card of defending this passion, defending this connection. This is almost like a wake-up call, Sagittarius. This is that feeling the fire again. I mean, Sagittarius, you are a fire sign, and you are the mutable fire sign, which means you are really meant to just kind of exude fire. One of my favorite readers always speaks to Sagittarius as the wildfire, and that is kind of what you are. You're ready to just go all over the place, and you're a little unpredictable, and that's the beauty of being a Sagittarius. You're meant to burn on that level. And it's time to get into a place where you can really defend that, where you can sit there and say, this is who I am. This is that fresh spark, that new connection. And if I have to break some boundaries, if I have to do things a little differently, well, it's all so that I can prepare myself for this fresh start. And the Six of Pentacles is a beautiful energy to come in at this point, because it really does speak to you being in a good place of balance, that you have enough resources to make use of a fresh opportunity coming in. It does say that, again, it reminds us that the energy we put in will always come back to us. But when it's in this is your final challenge position. This is kind of like what you have to get over to be able to take this opportunity, and possibly again for some of you to actually travel, to change locations, to really shake things up on that level. Now, the Six of Pentacles, this could be where we're clinging to more of the Five of Pentacles energy, which is limitation, which is, yes, but up until this point I haven't had enough. I've had to go through times when I didn't, because the Six of Pentacles coming up here really denotes that you've just come out of that Five of Pentacles energy. And maybe that could be, it's Five of Pentacles can be a poverty mindset card. It's also one where we sometimes, we can cling to it even though it denotes kind of being, having less than ideal physical assets. It can also really denote, on an emotional level as well, feeling like you are kind of, out on your own, and that there's no one there to help you, and that you're kind of struggling through this limiting abundance in your physical environment, but you're also feeling like there's no one there to help you get through it on the emotional level. And this is saying, this is realizing, this is, again, I think for some of you having to see this in something in a new perspective, that you have more than enough. You are sitting in a place of balance. And again, this is that reminder of what you put in, you will get back. So it's the energy to put in the defense of the new around this idea. So this could be actually like for some of you, or maybe, again, let's say it is that you are retiring. And all of a sudden now you're like, wait a second, I could become a personal contractor. And you get this aha moment of, oh my gosh, I can do what I've been doing for 25 years, but instead now I get to name my own price. And I get to decide who I take on as a client and who I don't take on as a client. And I do have the resources to invest in this. And all of a sudden, your perspective of, oh my gosh, I'm leaving this work. I've been defined by this. Who am I going to become? All of a sudden turns into the inspiration for the next chapter. Same thing with, even if some of you have gone through something traumatic like a death or the loss of somebody, that all of a sudden you see that maybe there is a blessing in this, maybe in remembering the person who has passed, it suddenly sparks that feeling of, wait a second, I've held myself back from following a hope or dream. When somebody passes prematurely or even in their own time, it still can really bring that element of time up to the front. And for us to say, I have been wasting time. I've been trying to do everything right, the right way. And you know what? Life's too short. I just want to travel. Life's too short. I want to write that book. Life's too short. I can't do this anymore. I have to jump ahead. I have to change a rule. And the Hierophants come up for a lot of signs this month. And I think that really speaks to Saturn going retrograde, where we're all going to be really looking, we're feeling the push to do and to create even structure in our life, and yet we're being forced at the same time to review how we create those structures. Maybe we can create them differently. We don't have to create them in the way that we have up to this point. And that's really what Saturn retrograde is going to really show us, is that how we do it, there can be a better, more efficient, and more unique to us way to do things. I really do feel like that the next 4 months is really going to be pushing all of us to realize that one size doesn't fit all. And for Sagittarius, that really applies to you as a sign. One size does not fit all Sagittariuses. You, again, if you think about you as a wildfire, this is you embracing that individuality, that limitlessness of who you are, of breaking those boundaries. And I think for some of you, it's going to be this month that you do kind of break through. That's really what I'm seeing with the Hierophant and the Ace of Wands. That's that breakthrough. I don't have to do it this way anymore. And I can do it this way. And I'm going to light myself on fire and make that change. And I just thought of the Michael Jackson song when I said that. It's interesting. Make that change, Sagittarius. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull 3 final cards down here for the concepts of curiosity, courage, and contemplation. And this first card for curiosity is really having us take a look at what Spirit would like you to be aware of for the spiritual aspect to your experience this month, because we're opening up to the unknown. What we don't know lies around the corner, what we need to be curious and open to. And that speaks to what we mean when we talk about looking at the spiritual side to our existence. Spiritual side is really the part of us that deals and interacts directly with the unknown. All right, so we have Angel of Strength, number 50, breaking down to a 5, which is the number of change. I like this because it's like the Strength card in the tarot, which really harnesses the energy of Leo, that inner courage, that fire, but the fire that comes from the heart. And when we think about having strength through change, I think for some of you, where to be curious is, where can you tap into that fire that comes from your heart space? And perhaps for some of you, again, that fire that comes from that leonine energy, it might have been doused a little bit, by what has happened here. And maybe for some of you, you have stopped taking action from that fiery place of connection to what you love. And that's what's coming through here is where can you be curious as to where you where you haven't let the wildfire touch your heart, and where this month you can do that. You can break down those walls, let the fire catch from within, and be curious about what that's going to open up and allow you to see for yourself. There's almost this element of kind of burning away the barriers so that you can see the opportunity to come and be free to follow it. I do get this feeling that there's this element of really wanting to be free and wanting to, I do get this feeling that for some of you, again, it's almost like you're going to this month see where you haven't been free, but where it's been you holding yourself back, not circumstances holding yourself back. So keep your eye open to, again, where you can kind of let your heart space catch on fire, and where you can start to take action from that place, where you can really start to connect with leading from your heart. Okay, let's go ahead. Now I'm going to pull a card for the concept of courage. And this is where we're moving from the spiritual side to our experience into the physical side. So courage to take action. And it says, surrender to your soul's path. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. I love that. And this is perfect. This is that feeling of the reminder that our path never ends. And we will continue moving forward down that path until the day that we are no longer in this experience. And that really speaks to the hope is that we go all the way, that we reach our ultimate potential. And that ultimate potential is being able to liberate who we are, break apart ourselves to be able to find all of those unique heroic abilities, dreams and desires, and release those into our experience so that we can experience them, but also be of service to the greater collective experience as well. We end up elevating ourselves along with the collective experience. And for some of you, this is really stating that it may seem like one cycle has closed, or maybe you have purposely closed the door on something that you thought was never going to come in for you. This could look like you feeling like you'll never have that relationship again. Maybe you're older and you had to walk away from a long-term relationship, and so you closed the door and said, that's not going to happen again for me. Or maybe you're retired and you said, yeah, I'm never going to have a job again. Or the kids leave the nest, so to speak, and you're like, well, I guess that's it. Now it's just living day to day, and it's saying, no, there's another chapter to come, and you're still on your path. You're still moving forward, and there's still room to grow. So embrace everything as it comes, including new ideas and inspiration, and be ready. Be ready to take action from that place. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to pull a card now for the concept of contemplation. And this is where Spirit would like you to move from now the physical side into our mental side to our experience. This is where we get a chance to reflect. Let's see here. So what does Sagittarius... I knew it was going to come out for you guys. I always call you the spiritual warriors, and here it is. It says, warrior woman, have you answered your deepest calling? And I feel like this might have come out for you guys like in a past reading recently. So if it did, I can't remember, here's double confirmation. Have you answered your deepest calling? And for some of us, yes, that could be, have we unlocked that deepest part of ourselves that we want to experience? It doesn't have to be that we have to join, Doctors Without Borders or the Peace Corps, and it has to be something on that level. This can literally be that my deepest calling is that I want to have a deep, fulfilling relationship with another person. This could be, I want to work with children. I want to have the freedom to travel so that I can experience as much of the world as possible. It will be unique to you. But this is the month where you get to reconnect with that. And this does represent your eternal flame. This is your uniqueness. This is your passion. This is where your deepest calling is directly connected to. And you have an opportunity in the physical that's going to allow you to unlock this. If you're willing to have the strength to come from your heart and to allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to understand what is your deepest calling. What does your heart yearn for at this point? And that is what is going to allow you to know what ship to wait for. All right, Sagittarius, I'm going to leave it there. I think this is going to be a very positive, very illuminating month for you. If you'd like to join me over in the extended, we will pull clarifier cards for the majority of the cards on the table. I will also pull cards for the theme of romantic love, so you can see what to expect there for the month. And then I will pull a final card where we will talk about the overarching larger message for the spiritual lesson you're learning this month. But if I don't see you over there, Sagittarius, I hope you all have a wonderfully liberating and heart-centered, burn it down, Sagittarius, but in the best way possible. Can be a very liberating month for you. All right. Love you all, and I will see you either in July for the next Illumination reading, or I will see you over at the extended. Bye.